Loyac in France, round 8 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross to watch live the crucial qualifying 4, which will decide who makes this. Make sure you share this with anyone you think might be interested. Also, let us know who you're rooting for. Who do you think is going to make it where you're watching from as well? It's very interesting. This Loyac is a small town in Brittany. If you want to go surfing, about an hour that way. If you want to go, this is the place to be. Up to 75,000 people. In fact, we might break the record this weekend because the weather is good. Absolutely beautiful conditions. One of the best attended events of the entire season. Now here we are with the pre-grid area where all the 4 and as you can see, there's Timmy Hansen's car, 11:30 in the morning, and they've got the silver and keep the cars as cool as possible. There's Yanis Balmanis, just on the cusp of making it through, and here we have 2 rally legends. But if you want to go and stand next to him, this will be quite nice. Obviously, you often, the circuit here at Loyac has been quite fierce already this weekend. Have you enjoying it?
No. No, at lap. In the last heat, yesterday I had some little problem with the power steering. Now in the last heat, it broke completely in the first corner with a little contact with Shishut, so overall position is not good. So at the moment I don't enjoy it so much. Hopefully it's getting better now. So
in theory you should be able to make it through to the semi-finals. You're more comfortable.
Comfortable, you know. It's been quite good fighting, I must say. You know, I haven't had so behind, and you know it's not so easy if you're gonna go past.
Yeah, it's unusual that Sebastian has to go early. And the Johan, it's not all going exactly. Your track just keeps changing. How do you adapt the setup?
Nah, the setup is not the problem. It's just the start with, and then of course on the track, you know, it's going well. Johan in some sort of way, he just I thought he should spin earlier, he thought so too, and well, he catch it. So, but I think he have done a good job. You know, it's very good on when we look at the lap times and stuff. But we need to be in front.
Hopefully your team boss and teammate calls you some kind of alien, you know you're doing something right. Let's get ready. Qualifying 4 is about to kick off the start line, and I think already on the rev limiter up in the commentary booth should be Andrew Coley and Dan Rook.
I'm about halfway up the RPM. I'm sure at the limiter by the time we get to the last race. We're strapped in, we're holding the handbrake, and we're looking forward to it. I loved it, Sebastian Loeb, and it's not ideal for Loeb, is it? P12, and it would be Shisharit who would deny him, who's in P, having a good weekend, and Loeb's got a tricky race with guys who are maybe a little bit more sensible.
Yeah, he's got to hope that he gets a good start here. It isn't going to be very good from Loeb's point of view. It won't be very good. Who's in front of those guys in the standings might have a bit of a bad run.
And they'll both go through. We'll see more French people. We've got 70,000 French people here over the course of the weekend. They're going to go mad whichever of the French drivers make it through, and for the Peugeots as well. So this is the last qualifying session. We already had Q3 earlier on today, and it was pretty wild thanks to track conditions. So take a look at this. So this was Genet versus Scheider on the run down to turn 1. A tiny little touch, and you can see Scheider, a passenger, destroying our camera at the time. Thanks very much. Genet leading by a mile. Went on the brakes super early, still ran wide. This was Rustad and Larson. Ollie O'Donovan jokered twice because the joker lap was faster than the standard lap. The stewards imposed a penalty where you would get a 3-second penalty instead of a double joker for a jump start. That was Rustad, and I think it was Larhart as they crossed the line. Liam Doran went out, leading this one, and set an absolutely stunning time. Hakkinen with a good recovery after a spin up in the first couple of corners. You ride on board with Loeb. On your right hand side, Shisharit. These two battling for P12 in the standings. Little touch there, nothing Gulain can do about that. There's cars on his inside. Loeb struggled. He lost 10 seconds on the whole first lap and then set 2 of the fastest laps of the day. So whatever he did inside the con, Loeb's car seemed okay. It was Hansen who took it, but he was 4 seconds, the British bomb, taking a qualifying session on his return to the sport. Unfortunately for him, there was one man still out on track, and that was him. Him and Ekstrom super close at the Tuma. As the track was drying, the Joker was faster at the top. Ekstrom desperate to get in front of him. Kristoffersen thought he might be just slotting behind him rather than argy-bargy, which is what Kristoffersen called it. But Ekstrom, of course, wanted to get ahead of him. And if you look at the standings here, he was hoping that if he was it to him come Q4. As it goes with Kristoffersen's 2 wins in Q1 and Q3, it's very unlikely that he's going to be deposed from the top spot. If he takes TQ here again, it will be 5 T. Johan Kristoffersen. It would also see him at the top of the all-time standings. Him and Solberg have got 14 top qualifier spots each at the minute. Kristoffersen's at the top of the standings for most wins all time. He takes top qualifier here, but had the most top qualifiers as well in the history of the series. Ekstrom, Backward, Doran, Hansen, Solberg, Ekstrom, Ericsson and Gronholm are your top 8. Of Hansen, Baumanis, Loeb and Shisharit are all within 4 points of each other. I think Hakkinen and Andrew Jordan for MJP are possibly too far back unless we see a bit of carnage in some of these races, but from P9 to P13 is right on the cusp. We are on the cusp of Q4. The first cars are down there on the grid. Let's have a look and see who's in it. Over Napik, Lemonnier, Emmanuel Anne, then it's Gaetan Sarazan in the middle of the grid, Ollie O'Donovan and Timo Scheider. These guys all unfortunately struggling with their various 21, 22, 23, 24 and 25, so none of them are going to make it through.
Which hopefully we'll see Scheider finish this race. He's had two DNFs, which is a shame for him. You know, we know he's a man with pace, so we'll see how it goes.
Darter, they all get away well, except Emmanuel Anne dropping back a little bit. Scheider and O'Donovan looking to close the door. I thought it would be those two. Scheider gives best to Ollie. Ollie through the left-hand wall, contact again out in the gravel on the outside. I think that's Sarazan who's sideways, just about holds on, and whacked with Scheider. So Scheider had a spin on the, oh shoot. Oh dear, this is just not Timo Scheider's weekend. I feel really sorry for him. He was flying yesterday in Q2. Didn't see what happened, so I was looking at Sarazan. You can see Scheider parked on the game over.
So yeah, I think I saw Scheider have a bit of contact in the middle of turn 2. It pushed him in, nearly clipping the barrier. And when he's come on, hit the brakes, going into the hairpin, you know, looks like something's broken on the car. And
yeah, that swapped ends very quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, he's decided to park it there. So not the weekend for Scheider.
You can find Timo Scheider, I reckon, in the beer tent for the rest of the day. I don't know that for sure. I mean, he's a good lad, Timo. He will be very disappointed not to have had a bit of fun in that last race. Emmanuel Anne there making a last-minute decision to go to the Joker, which will probably cost him a bit of time. O'Donovan with Lemonnier right behind him. Oh, and there we go. It's going to cost him a lot of time. Emmanuel Anne has tapped the wall, taken the rear end off it. Napik tacks the rear end of O'Donovan. What a big Ola X. I can't remember the stat, or maybe somebody else can. Look at, go on! I'm mad! Just 0.3 of a second through here. The French crowd will love it if he takes a win.
I'm starting to think there could be something wrong with Ollie's car, you know. So he's Napik's got Ollie's. He doesn't seem to be pulling out of the corners, you know. He's all over the back of him.
Runner in British Rallycross. We would expect normally to see him.
Not the heat that Ollie wanted. I'm sure he knows it's out the semis now, so he's out there just driving for a bit of fun. But you know, if the car's not running how he wants it to be, he's going to be a bit frustrated.
So Sarazan looks to have some problem with the rust. His lap of the day gives you an idea that the track is developing. Emmanuel Anne is parked under the commentary box. Timo Scheider is parked up in the hairpin. So definitely this and the next race while they clear the track up. Sarazan at the merge. I think you're right, Dan. I think a problem for Ollie. Oh, yeah, and he's going to drop it again. He dropped it there earlier, not in the wall, Ollie. Oh, just gently in, that's lucky. Tyre wall across there. That used to be a bank across there. A little bit more damage done if you nudged it, but Ollie O'Donovan, I wonder if he's rear-wheel drive only. Looking at the way the car's handling, it's hard to see. Into the last corner for Ollie under the commentary box. Go on, Ollie, big set, yeah. Sarazan takes it with the fastest lap of the day. So what did Sarazan do? He did a 39.3 at the end of the race. In fact, so he went even quicker than the 39.8. But considering the problems that dragging his car back to the paddock, I think we're going to see people go a lot faster. They're still some 15 seconds off the ultimate pace yesterday, but they are around 5 seconds quicker than Kristoffersson went to win Q3. Dan Simming, talk us through Scheider.
So yeah, if we're watching the background of shot, yeah, we'll see a bit of contact. Looks like it was with Sarah. Oh no, so a bit of contact with Sarazan and then into the side of Lemonnier, and it pushed him onto the inside. And he's come to hit the brakes, and the car's just not there with him. So he's reverse parked it, if you like.
I like that. The car is not there with him. That's not a nice feeling as a driver.
No, so he's come into the corner, and he would be hoping for a bit of a better weekend, I'm sure.
O'Donovan with a little tap on the wall there as well. Sarazan coming across there. So, okay, so O'Donovan in the wall, Scheider in the gravel trap in turn 2, and then at the end of the straight there. So the first one there was a bit carnage, but Dan, what's key is the fact that the lap times have developed. So we're now looking at standard tactics for the fast guys.
So yeah, similar tactics to yesterday. We'll see them properly using the tactics now. They're going to have a bit of a rethink compared to Q3 earlier today. So let's see how it plays out.
Sarazan is with Neil Cole now.
Gaetan, that was a It must be great to get a win at home in Loillac. And
It's very difficult, and it's a new car because the setup is not the best.
thank you, well done. Merci.
Sebastian Loeb, not a man you expect to see in race 2 when we've got 5 races here, because this is a capacity supercar entry, which means that problems cost you big time, and he had a problem in Q3. We saw him P18, so Loeb was 4th, 9th and then 18th. That means he is in 12th place. And around him, Shisharit, Balmanis, Kevin Hansen and Timosyanov are all within 4 points, which is our qualifying point system. Remember, if you win the session, it's 50, second, it's 45. It goes down that way, then it's at 1 point increments further down the order. They don't mean anything for the championship, they just put the drivers in order for the semi-finals. There's that famous arch over the start here. Loeb in the middle of the grid. Next to him is Robin Larson. We've got Andrew Jordan, Oliver Bennett. There's a couple of Brits in here with him. Demoustier on the outside. Demoustier won't do anything because Demoustier is run by Sebastian Loeb Racing. He will know to help him out if he can. Well, you see Scheider's car going back. Andrew Jordan, Oliver Bennett, I think are sensible enough. I'd say probably Andrew will be the slightly quicker of the two. I'm trying to, you know what you're trying, you know what it's like, Dan. You're in a random race, you're looking who's the risk in here. He's got Larson next to him, and Larson is in P18. Larson's not remotely interested. Well, he'd love to make the semis, but he isn't going to. So is Larson your most dangerous man if you're Sebastian Loeb?
I'd say so, yeah. Obviously, he's starting on his outside as well, so Larson's going to be wanting to put a display on to show his real speed. So be interested to see how turn 1, 2, 3 goes for him.
Loeb reaches up to the wheel. One last little pull on the belts to get things into place. He's looking relaxed, but he has a job to do. Q4, race 2. Sebastian Loeb is in this one, and he desperately needs a good result, because you'll see at the bottom of the screen he is in P12. All the other guys in this race are unlikely to make it through. Andrew Jordan could if a few other people had a problem. He's 15th. He's on the inside from Bennett. Then it's Loeb, Larson and Demoustier. Larson, we know he's quick. We know he's spectacular. We know he's unlikely to make the semi-finals. So he will be the risk taker here. Grid than the back row. Loeb, eyes across towards the right. Thumbs up from the marshal. Green flag. You can hear the cars clunked into gear. There are the drivers watching the lights. You sometimes see them actually sit there and physically hold an imaginary handbrake, which of course is what they're doing on the line, and then they'll release and go. Good start, Andrew Jordan on the inside, has been squeezed out the back door, so Larson's P5. Andrew Jordan leading from Sebastian Loeb. Loeb will want to get past if he can. Larson's really sideways again, he's fully in the back of the Demoustier. Loeb has a look up the inside of Andrew Jordan, doesn't touch him this time. Loeb's quite sideways and he's been spun round. Has to go Joker, lucky to hold on to that.
Yeah, he did really well there. You know, he felt the touch from behind. He just completely lit the throttle up. You know, so, and thankfully for him, he's had 2 drivers follow him into the Joker, so hopefully not too much traffic now.
Bennett's in his way, so Bennett is in the way of Sebastian Loeb. He didn't need this. No disrespect to Oliver Bennett. He would know himself that Sebastian Loeb is the quicker driver, and now he's got to try and find a way past. Andrew Jordan leading this. Loeb's going to go straight up the inside into turn 2. He's alongside Bennett, but he can't make it stick there. Bennett has good power in the Pipo Power Mini. Loeb's out on the loose stuff here. He's losing time. It's the danger man, and Shisharit is in a later race, so Loeb will be hoping here that Bennett either goes wide or goes Joker. Andrew Jordan's best because his sponsors will have seen that he's in a bit of trouble. Andrew Jordan versus Sebastian Loeb. Wide, Loeb comes into the champion. Remember, Andrew Jordan Hill, but Loeb is alongside him, and he's going to get him. It's a great move by Sebastian Loeb. Gives Andrew Jordan the squeeze. The factory Peugeot passes the MJP racing machine. Fastest lap of the day, 38.4. And I'm pretty sure Andrew will now follow Sebastian.
Yeah, so I think we're going to now see a lightning lap from Loeb. He knows he's got a lot of time to make up. He's desperate to get past Ollie Bennett. Thankfully for him, he made a mistake and then forced out the inside of Andrew Jordan. So
listen to the crowd.
You can hear the crowd go wild, Joe. Yeah.
Working hard there at the wheel, isn't he? Trying to keep the car on track. Andrew Jordan did a brilliant job behind the MJP machine. Unlucky yesterday to be spun round by Demoustier. I'm absolutely sorry, box. He won't do anything to risk Sebastian Loeb's day because he knows he's not having an ideal one. Loeb 38.0, fastest lap of the day. Andrew Jordan's going with him now at the minute, so the track is trying. Loeb is absolutely on a mission. How much time did he lose in that first lap? Not much from the looks of things, but if the track is getting a bit quicker again, what back is Sheetrit. Sheetrit's in the second to last race, so we're on the last lap. Loeb to the right. The Peugeot is going to take the win. The crowd are going to go mad for this one over the long. 37.7, fastest lap of the day. Good spot, Dan Rook on the time screen. 7.8 seconds faster. Loeb has gone the Sarrazin. Pretty much what we'd expect. 2:37.9, 13 seconds quicker than Christopherson went this morning because the track is dry, but it doesn't look to be as dry as it was yesterday. So Loeb had to work for that one. Managed to get past Bennett and Andrew Jordan. Look at this, they're on their feet for Sebastian Loeb. Those guys had an absolutely fantastic view of Loeb coming through. Has a little glance across the crowd. Great atmosphere here, especially if you're a French legendary driver. Loeb takes it. Andrew Jordan, P2, Demoustier, Larson and Bennett. They slot in. Look, the 5 of them, in fact. Loeb. In fact, Demoustier got a good start on the outside too, but was there carnage in the background? Larson was out on the loose. Look, he lost out, didn't he?
Yeah.
But at the front, a really good fight.
So yeah, and then Loeb getting forced into the Joker, and thankfully for him, he had Larson and Demoustier follow him in there, so he only really had Ollie Bennett's traffic, which wasn't ideal for him. But then obviously time then lost to Andrew Jordan, but finding the tiniest of gaps at the inside, riding the curbs, getting it fully up the inside into turn 1. So
great stuff there. Didn't lose too much time with Andrew Jordan. How much time did he lose behind Oliver Bennett? We're going to find out. There's 3 races.
So, Sebastian, it still wasn't a completely clean race. You've been looking for a clean race all weekend, but the time looks good.
Time doesn't look good. I lost too much time fighting with quite slow. We will see. I tried my best. I was fighting. I had to pass. I did it, but it was not a clean race.
Thank you.
It was not a clean race, says Sebastian Loeb. Thinks he's lost too much time. I would be inclined to agree. And as the track is not as fast as it was yesterday, we haven't had whatever it is. Okay, up towards some of the guys who are a little bit further up the standings. Gronholm, Kevin Hansen, Tommy Rustad's down in P16, Hagen in P14, Genet in P17. So Hansen and Gronholm, I think Gronholm's pretty safe. He is. It's Kevin Hansen who's in that group of 5 people who are within 4 points of each other. Peugeot's not having an ideal weekend at home. Waiting to be released. Here we go again. Okay, ready to race. Watch for Gronholm and Hansen on the inside. These are the 2 guys who need to keep it safe. Gronholm's creeping. Gronholm's crept loads there. He's very, very lucky not to jump the start there. So Haken with the fastest reaction time, but unable to capitalise on that is Kevin Hansen, who's going to get the whole shot. Rustad's going to come back out. Is he going to collect Gronholm? He's going to push Gronholm wide, certainly. So Gronholm's going to drop down the 4th place behind Haken and Rustad. And it's Kevin Hansen who gets into the lead first. Rustad's smoking the tyres up. Haken goes Joker on lap 1. That releases Gronholm to chase those 2 down.
So yeah, Gronholm, like you saw, creeping on the start line there. It meant that he, may have been a little bit flustered for the reaction time because he can't afford to move any further forward. So we've just seen him clip a penalty marker there actually on the inside of the penultimate corner. We've seen some 5 second out, yeah. 5 second penalty, so they need to be careful, especially if they're in the cut-off, like in the danger zone.
Yeah, 5 second penalty could be the difference between making semis or not.
So yeah, we don't want to see them making silly mistakes like that.
Kevin Hansen super late on the brakes. We're going to try and compare his lap times to Loeb for you. The cars aren't identical. Kevin is in the car that Loeb and Hansen were using prior to Sweden. So we know it was good because it was a front runner this year. Is that Genet? I think it is. David Genet is on a go slow. So Genet making through to the semi-finals. It would have been a long shot anyway. Hansen's managed to gap Rustad just a little bit. Remember, it's only a short Joker lap here anyway. Dan Rook is having a look at the time. He's 37.7 quicker already by 100. So Kevin Hansen going quicker than Sebastian Loeb. Joker he does. Gronholm rotates the car and goes Joker. So let's watch Nick Bass through there. Kevin around the outside looking for Nick Bass. You'll pick him up. There he is. Looks quick.
Yeah, I'd say Haken's just got in there. It's going to be a bit tight on the merge. Yeah, Gronholm
finished, does he, a bit safer than the others?
Yeah, so he's not making those silly moves that might cost him time. So him and Haken now will try and work together and we'll bring down the gap to Rustad.
The 2 Finns. Good to see a couple of Finns back in the championship together. That's Gronholm done great job this year, and so has this man, Kevin Hansen, the younger of the Hansen brothers. Rallycross through and through, where Timmy started in single seaters. Kevin missed the first apex there, was a little bit quick on the way over the jump. When I say missed it, we're talking 6 inches, but I know what Kevin's like, he'd be unhappy with that. And it won't have cost him more than 100th, but all the same. Through the long right, Kevin Hansen's going to take this, and I'm pretty sure will take fastest time of the session. Oh, it's close, but he does it. 1.3. Kevin Hansen ahead as Heikkinen, as we know, Heikkinen doesn't. So at the minute it's Kevin Hansen, Sebastian Loeb. So that's good for Loeb, because that means there are only 10 cars still to go. He's in P12, albeit if he would finish 12th in this, which should see him through, because the guys who are around him, Shisha is the one, isn't he? Shisha is the one who can deny him. Kevin Hansen from Heikkinen, Gronholm, Rustad and David Genet with a DNF. There you go, Heikkinen, fantastic job, up in third. Hansen first in the session at the minute. So it is a Peugeot 1-2 in Q4 with 2 races still to go. Dan off the start. Genet got pushed out into the gravel, didn't he?
Yeah, no, they all had a fairly even start there, and they did well to, you know, not have too much carnage. I'm not sure what happened to Genet there. We just saw him limping around late in the race, so yeah, we're just about to miss it. We're about to see clip both curbs through that chicane.
Yeah,
so.
Otherwise you have to wait on the throttle lane just that little bit longer. So Kevin Hansen, very nicely done, takes it, and at the minute it is him who leads Q4.
Well, Kevin, you really needed a clean run there to make sure you're in the semis, and it looks like that's what you got.
Yeah, it was really tricky. You know, the track improved so much from this morning. Yeah, I think I had a good run. I did my best, and I think the track will improve. So it will be tricky to keep the first place overall at the moment, but this is all we can do, and I really enjoyed to see the crowd around the track cheering for the Lion, so I enjoyed that one.
Well done, thank you.
Kevin's very happy, isn't he, pointing to the Peugeot logo on the race suit there. They know how to play the game. Huge event for Peugeot. They want to see all 3 cars through to the semi-final. I think they would have liked to have been slightly further up, particularly Sebastian.
Yeah, definitely. And we're about to see the race from with Shisha in, so we'll see. It's now crunch time. See if Loeb's done enough.
Yeah, indeed. What can Shisha do? He's having a great weekend. He's had a bit of influence, he was saying yesterday, from Liam Doran and the feedback on the car. And he is super tight, look, up against Petter Solberg in that. On to race 4 of Q4. Kevin Eriksson, Timmy Hansen, Yanis Baumanis, Petter Solberg and Gulan Shisharit. Now the big story here is Sebastian Loeb in P12. Baumanis and Shisharit either side of him. Shisharit is the danger man. If he can do something, Loeb was held up just a little bit. So can Shisharit beat his time? He's going to have a race on his hands anyway, because of course these 5 guys are all incredibly quick. Green flag, good to go. Second to last race of qualifying here at round 8 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship, waiting for the green. Well, good start, Eriksson on the inside, Baumanis goes backwards. It's going to be Solberg who moves across, trying to take the whole shot, but Hansen's up his inside. Solberg sideways will get the inside line for turn 2. But Hansen's found the traction, contact the background, Eriksson runs wide. Shisha is going to come clean through this, maybe get past Baumanis. Shisha is the danger man for Sebastian Loeb. Baumanis collects him a little bit on the brakes. Does Shisha go joker? He doesn't, he goes standard lap.
So I actually saw Shisha off the line. They backed out very early to avoid the carnage going into turn 2, and it's paid off. You know, he was last going into turn 1, and then third coming in out of turn 2. So
well done. Yeah, that's the thing here, isn't it? As if you missed the start, we were saying earlier on today, you can just sit back, watch the mistakes. We nearly always see a car in the gravel on the outside of turn 1 on the transition to turn 2, where people tried to go brave around the outside. Look at the gravel in the road down as well.
So yeah, you can see. I think there was at least 2 cars then went through the gravel and, you know, dragged it onto the racing line, so it's going to make it a little bit slippy for them.
You're on board with Shisha, looking at the battle in front. Solberg's going to have a look up the inside of Hansen, but can't quite find the traction. Smoke off the rear of Solberg's car. He's absolutely all over the back of the Peugeot. Timmy Hansen, normally really tidy. Solberg tidy through there this time. Watch them through the last 2 corners here. You'll sometimes see the contrast in the style. I wonder if Solberg will be just a little bit tidier. In fact, yeah, they're both pretty sideways through the last right-hander. Solberg used to be so much more sideways to him, and Chris Thomason has taught him the ways days of circuit racing, which is the quick way around this track.
Yeah, especially here, you know. We used to see Petter coming around this corner. I remember watching a video from 2013. It was comparing his style compared to backwards, and backward was neat, tidy, and Solberg was fully lit.
Absolutely sideways. Well, it'd be fully lit through the Joker lap here, almost into the curb on the left, gets the one on the right. So it's not perfect, but it's not far off. We've seen Solberg hop the curbs on both sides. That's a bit more like his normal style. Comes across and moves to shut the door on Shisharin. Shisharin's looking to beat Loeb's time of 2:37.9, but it will depend where everybody else slots into qualifying too. Timmy Hansen is going to Joker on this last lap. So Hansen through the left, down towards the Joker lap entry. Look at Solberg, he's absolutely on a mission. Here we go, fastest time of the day, Timmy Hansen. That's just what he needs on the run into the Joker. Hansen desperate to hold on for the win in this second to last race in qualifying. Tyre smoke there as well from Ericsson as he goes in. Hansen up over the curbs, Solberg around the outside. I think Solberg's on a flyer here. Hansen moves out to try and shut the door and can't. So Solberg has got him. Petter Solberg must have put in a hell of a lap on that one to get past. Petter Solberg is going to take race 4, Q4. He crosses the line and goes quickest. Shisharin though, where's Shisharin? Shisharin's time 2:37.5. He's beaten Loeb. Shisharin has beaten Loeb, but where's Balmanis? 2:39.8. So Loeb has beaten Balmanis. We're going to need to wait and see the points at the minute, but Shisharin has beaten Loeb. That's all he can do. It depends on the other results. So we'll let you know at the end of the session who has made it through to the semi-finals. Good job by Solberg there. Petter Solberg takes it, 2:35.5 from Timmy Hansen, Gilles Shisharit, Janis Balmanis and Kevin Eriksson. Balmanis was in P11, but as you can see, it's not on the front page. So I think Balmanis is going to go out. Shisharit might well go through with Sebastian Loeb. We could see 2 Frenchies go through, and the crowd will very much like that. One race to go. Even start, wasn't it? Shisharit, great drive.
So yeah, you can see what I mean. He sort of kept himself back out of the way off the line there, and it put him on the perfect line to pick up, you know, the mistakes that people made in turn 2. So very close race here with Solberg and Hansen. We see him really sideways on the way out of the Joker up there, trying to use as much momentum as he can through the corners, but keeping it very neat and tidy. Hansen, a lot more sideways than we normally see from him here, but
It was good, wasn't it?
it was good. But yeah, Petter able to get the overlap on such a short Joker lap. So
Solberg
good job.
takes it.
Petter, it's good to get a race win. The time's the best so far, but you look like you were being held up a little bit.
Yeah, the fella was much faster. It was really frustrating, but the thing is, you can't do any stupid things. You need the stability and do the best I can. We did it on the Joker lap, but of course I was hold back a lot. But you have to respect that also. It's not just driving through people, you know. But happy with my driving, and the car was good. Had a good start, and okay, small risk in the first corner to get in, but I got a little bit pushed out. So it's the best I could do now in this position.
Yeah, we'll see you in the semis.
Thanks. Yeah.
On to the very last race of qualifying here in France. This should be fantastic. Christopherson on the inside looking to break records here. We'll explain that to you during the race. Liam Doran, 4th after Q3, looking for a front row start in the semi-finals on his debut with GCK after a 2-year break, mixing it with the factory cars. Nearly won Q3. Timur Timosyanov in 9th. The Russian would very much like to make it through to the semi-finals. Liam, looking at the qualifying standings, unlikely to be able to make it past either of the Audis. Timmy Hansen and Petter Solberg are his danger men for coming off the front row. Saw a great fight between him and Johan in Q1. While Johan gets the better start, Liam's not got such a good start as Johan has. I think he'll drop in behind him. Liam Doran backward, having a look up the inside, but right across the gravel trim. Oh, contact from Liam, right up the rear wheel. He's going to have to get on the gas. Liam's fully sideways, and he's getting up P5 there. So Liam Doran goes backwards. He's still going to make the semi-finals, but he's not going to challenge Christopherson in this one. On board with Ekstrom. Where did Liam go? We didn't see in the background. So Ekstrom following backward down the back straight. I think Liam Doran's gone standard lap. He has. Liam Doran there, you can see on the standard lap. Timosyanov takes the Joker on the first one.
So yeah, a bit unfortunate there for Liam. Just that tiny bit of contact on the back wheel of Christopherson's enough to just put you that far offline and, you know, send you towards the gravel. So did well to keep it off the out of the wall there and recover recover himself to get back on the back of the train.
Good drive by Timosyanov. He's on the back of the train already, having jokered, so maybe taking advantage of some of the action in front. Liam having a very, very strong look here at Matthias Ekström. So Ekström is under pressure from Liam Doran in the GCK machine. Liam saying he could not believe how late he could brake in this car. So open over the jump, going to go left and right, looking to try and get past at least Timosyanov, but Timosyanov was right behind him. He was only 0.7 back, and Liam's going to end up behind the Russian. So, but he was definitely quicker than Ekström, at least as quick as Ekström, so he needed to do something.
Yeah, he looked like he was all over the back of him. So try and split the strategy, and he's got hope now that Timosyanov's going to be able to catch back up to the two Audis in front of him. But we can see Kristoffersen's just checked out. To be honest, he's got enough of a gap to Baccarat now to Joker and still come out in front of him.
Kristoffersen absolutely flying out front. He's looking to take his third from 4 sessions here. If he does, it'll be another TQ for him. World Championship leader, just absolutely smashing it again. But we're particularly because we're seeing, say, privateer squads of pace. Baccarat slotting in, I think, behind. We're on board with Timosyanov, looking at Baccarat and Ekström in front. So Ekström now's got, I think Ekström's not, for some reason, Ekström pace is not there on this one. Maybe saving tyres. Fastest lap of the day, Kristoffersen, but maybe Ekström trying to save a set of tyres. This pace is very abrasive, Dan.
Yeah, it's good thinking from Ekström. He's very comfortably in P2. He's got his teammate behind him in the standings for. He's looking like he's going to get on the front row for the semi-final.
Kristoffersen coming round towards the end of the lap. He's setting records left, right and centre, and this one will be his 15th top qualifier spot. We'll see him at the top of the all-time records for TQ. Baccarat crosses the line, Timosyanov, Ekström and Doran so close behind. That's Kristoffersen's 4th top qualifier, 5th, of the season. The record is 6, it's his record, of course, and that's 5 TQ spots in a row. So Johan Kristoffersen, another record, 5 in a row, 15 total. The world champion is on fire. Kristoffersen takes it 2:33.6 from Baccarat Timosyanov. Ekström didn't look right on it here, but maybe saving tyres. Liam Doran with a 2:38.0. This is where they slot in. Kevin Hansen, Timmy Hansen, Solberg look right up there, and Liam further down. So I think Liam's going to drop off the front row. We'll find out it literally in just a couple of Shishrit doing a brilliant job there to book himself a slot, I think, in the semi-finals. Didn't quite get the best start there, and then here, look, as Baccarat comes on. In fact, no, it was a contact, wasn't it, from Liam on the inside. Look at this.
And just caught the back end of Kristoffersen, and you see it lifted the front of the car up and forced him out, and he had to really throw it sideways to keep it out of the gravel.
Ekström sideways through the left and the right. Is he managing tyres? Is he saving something for the semis? You'll be able to find out later on today.
Nearly 2 seconds quicker than anybody else in that session, and that's your 5th consecutive.
We did some few changes before this heat for finally back to very comfortable in the launch. That's exactly what I need for semi-final and final in front. And I mean, on the track, the cars, I think we will have good tires for semi-final and final. So I'm just feeling track, and I have to say that the car is best ever on a high grip track. So super confident and super happy.
Very good, thank you.
And takes the top qualifier spot here in France. That is his 5th TQ in a row, a new record. His 15th in the all-time standings. He's got 15 TQs and 15 wins that season. Was the most successful driver in the history of the World Rallycross Championship, both top qualifiers and wins. He's absolutely destroying it. Says the car's great, everyone else is dreading it, but it's top qualifier for him. Baccarat, Ekström, so it's Kristoffersen versus Ekström in semi-1, and it's Baccarat versus Solberg in semi-2, so that's great. Audis versus VWs in the 2 different races. Timmy Hansen, Liam Doran will be on the 2nd row. Kevin Hansen, Timosyanov, Q8, that's good for Timmer. That might be one of his best results of the year in qualifying. Gronholm makes it through as well. Shishrit is through, so is Ericsson, and Sebastian Loeb has scraped it, look at the back of the field. Unfortunately, that has cost Yanis Baumanis. Here's the man who drops out. He's done it again, 5 in a row, 15 career TQs. That's his 5th one this year. So the record is 6. Is unbelievable. I think it's going to be very hard for anyone to beat him. Can they?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Semi-finals is crunch time, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Semis are always fun. So you'll be able to join us later on. Check your local listings. We're going to sign off for a bit, and we'll leave you with Neil.
and he'd do it again. Just before we came to the live interview with him moments ago, he said to me, that was too easy. So it's pretty ominous for everybody else in the entire field. Be on your traditional television media and live stream if you have that. So make sure you have a look on the website to find out if you can watch it on TV. But otherwise, thanks very much for being here for our live streams for qualifying 3 and qualifying 4 today. And thanks to Andrew Coley and Dan Rook and the whole live stream TV team. But there is a very relaxed Johan Kristoffersson. Is he on his way to another win? Join us later to find out.
Andrew to Matt.